Hey guys, I just got the most exciting package in the mail. I just got the brand new Hourglass Unreal Liquid Blushes, all 7 of the new shades, and I can't wait. I opened up the box, I got really excited, I sat down, turned on the camera, and not sure exactly what I'm gonna do. I know I want to swatch all 7 of the shades on my hand and on my face, just trying to figure out how to do it. I did put down some Makeup Forever just as a base product today. I do have some lip products. I'll link to everything down below, but let's go ahead and just jump right in. I think I'm just gonna go from left to right and just start swatching. They did also include a brush. This is the number 15 blush brush. So we're gonna play around applying with the brush as well. I do also have the Hourglass Vanish Airbrush Pressed Powder. I do like to try cream products on over powder, under powder, kind of play around with that just to see, because sometimes cream products don't apply over powder very well, but I really like it when they do, because I feel like it really helps the product blend, it really helps the product's longevity, blah, blah, blah. All right, let me get myself situated. So as I'm trying to unwrap this brush, I do know that these are the 7 new shades. They are $36 each. They are a liquid formula, and you can find them on the Hourglass site and also on the Sephora site. I do have a 10% off coupon code on Hourglass. It has always worked on like new products and everything, so I don't think that this would be any different, but because this is a new product, it may not work. But I do have a Michele 10 for 10% off at the Hourglass site. So I'll have all the links down below in the description box if you're interested. Okay, so here's the number 15 blush brush, just FYI. It is angled. It has an oval shape to it, so it is flatter on one side and a little pointier on the other, and here it is like an aerial view. Very fluffy, very soft. I do like the Hourglass brushes. If I'm gonna go synthetic, these are really good ones. Okay, so like promised, I'm gonna apply some of this powder down just to one cheek. I'm gonna use the powder puff. Actually, I usually use a brush, hold on. Okay, I'm gonna use this BK Beauty 111 brush, very fluffy. I'm just gonna go into this powder and just pounce on my cheek. So kind of just simulating if I were doing my makeup sort of in a normal order. I would put like all my cream product down, foundation, concealer, and then I would go ahead and powder. All right, so we've got powder on this side, no powder on this side. Let's start with the very first shade here. This is the shade Scene, and they did include a little bit of an info card. Sorry, it's reflecting because the letters are metallic, but it says to shake and then press. There's a button at the bottom here. If you guys are familiar with like the Surratt Dewdrop foundation, sort of a similar dispensing system, and then blend. Shake, shake well with cap on and turn bottle upside down. So I'm gonna shake. Gently press the soft button on the bottom of the bottle to dispense 1 drop of product onto the back of hand. Use the number 15 blush brush to gently stipple on the back of the hand to disperse the color, then lightly tap onto the apples of the cheeks, blending upwards. All right, and then, oh, some has already come out, so I'm just gonna take that bit onto the back of my hand. So there is Scene. I'm gonna take the number 15 brush, so there is Scene, blend it out. Ooh, pretty. Ooh, it has such an interesting, wow, it has such an interesting texture. It feels like not even there. I was kind of expecting, I'm like, oh, is it gonna feel a little bit more oily, more watery, more gel-like? Actually, it's like I don't feel anything. Interesting. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and stipple. So this is the powder side. I think that applies really beautifully over the powder. I do have this one spot on my cheek. I just want to point that out. Just nothing applies well over this one spot on my cheek. I've like done a little like face shaving there. It's so strange. I don't know, but I've noticed it with every single product that I put on. Blush, bronzer, powder, cream, everything. It's so strange. So I don't want you to blame this liquid blush for this spot. This is my deformity, okay? This is my skin deformity. So this color Scene is described as a soft, warm pink. I'm just gonna grab a little bit more and now apply it to the side without powder, which is this side. I feel like that applied just as beautifully. Sometimes, not always, I do like to powder down my cream products. It just sort of sets them, it kind of keeps them in place. So I am going to apply some of the powder on top of this cream blush. We're just playing around now anyway. There, so I just applied some powder on top. This side definitely looks a little bit more matte for obvious reasons. The powder is on top. This with the powder underneath, there is a little bit more glow. And I really have good luck applying cream products on top of powder for longevity. The powder kind of just gives it this kind of like spongy base, this base for like the blush to soak into, and that's what kind of gives it the longevity, where this kind of keeps it all in and sets it all down. Yeah, I'm kind of a fan of it on top of the powder, at least in this shade. All right, so that is the shade Scene, again described as a soft, warm pink. Okay, as I'm taking off this blush, if you're wondering why my hair looks different, it's because, you know, I washed it, I put some heat protecting cream in there, and then I decided I was not going to heat style it because it's just too hot. I was sweating, just sort of like, you know, running everything through my hair, and like, you know, I had like the towel, the hair towel, and I was kind of trying to dry my hair with the hair towel, and I was like, I can't do the hair dryer. I just can't do it today. It's just too freaking hot. So this is my hair air dried, which I don't know about you guys. You know, I don't necessarily think my hair looks bad, but it looks so different than when I hair dry it. Even if I just like throw the hair dryer over it, like without even thinking, not even like, you know, putting like a brush through it or anything, it just looks so different. So anyway, if you're wondering why my hair looks different, that's why. Air dry. All right, reapplying my base and going to reapply powder to this side. Alrighty, so we've got base and powder here, just base. The next shade I have is called Whim, and it is described as a bright pink. By the way, these are made in Korea. I was like very curious and I just saw it on the back. Made in Korea. Awesome. Oh, and it is 0.34 fluid ounces, 10.3 milliliters. And I'm using my trusty Sephora brush cleaner to clean off this number 15 blush brush. I'll just wipe it onto a paper towel now. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and go into the bright pink, which is Whim. Here it is, blended out. And I'm gonna wipe the excess off on my hand. Since this is a bright pink, I don't wanna start off too strong. So again, this is the powdered side. Very pretty, and the tone of this pink is just a bit cooler than Scene, which, like they mentioned, it is like a little bit of a warmer pink. So it's almost kind of leaning towards peach, where this one is like a really true pink. Here is the side with no powder. Wow, that's very pretty. You know what this color reminds me of? This reminds me of like powdered wig kind of makeup, where it's like really, really like a white base, and then like really stark, you know, like little lips and a birthmark and like bright cheeks. That's what this color kind of reminds me of. So pretty. Oh, love this shade. Love this Whim color. All right, so here it is on powder, here it is just on base. I'm gonna powder on top of this, like the last color. Yeah, I like this shade both ways. This, it's much bolder, there's a glow, it is a brighter pink, so it's much bolder. This is like a softer look, putting the powder on top. Just sort of like diffuses the color a little bit. Very pretty. Okay, so that is Whim. All right, I think we're all reset now. Powder is down. The next shade I have here is called Vision, and it is described as a true rose. All right, here is Vision. Now let me blend it out with the brush. Here it is blended out. Oops, did you guys just hear Butters? The doorbell rang, and then that's when she loses her mind. All right, here is Vision on my powdered cheek. Oh, that's pretty. This is like heat. Yeah, this is like the shade my face turns when I've like gone for a run. That's beautiful. Okay, just picking up a little bit more, going on this side. Oh, you know what I have to do with the next color? I meant to do it with this and I forgot. I do want to try applying this with just my fingers. I want to see how that works. I think it'll probably work fine, but sometimes some products, for me, just don't apply that well with fingers. I really love brushes. Brushes usually come through for me. Yeah, sometimes with products, I feel like the finger will like lift up the product as I'm trying to like place it down. Anyway, we'll give it a shot with the next color. So here's Vision. This is so pretty. I think this one could be my favorite so far. I love it. They describe it as a true rose, but here, take a look at, hold on, let me hold it up next to Whim. So Whim is this pink. So do you see in Vision, it has a little bit of that warmth in there, almost like it has a drop of terracotta. And I love that. You guys have heard me talk about like terracotta type blushes for years now. I think I started with like a Charlotte Tilbury one in a palette. Anyway, I love it because it gives you that kind of like sunburnt, sun-kissed kind of look. If you have my skin tone, that is. Gorgeous. Okay, so that is Vision. Let me put some powder on this one, just for good measure. Yeah, very pretty. So on top of powder, under powder. Beautiful. So far, I'm loving the way these are applying. I usually have much better luck with cream blushes versus liquid blushes. Liquid blushes, I feel like, sometimes can be very fussy. Sometimes they don't set down quickly enough, so as you're blending it in, you're just sort of smearing it around. It can apply very evenly if it's too thin, or if it's too thick, it's like goopy, which I don't like either. These seem to have like a really nice, thin texture, but it just, yeah, it's just like blending out really beautifully, and it's setting down at a nice rate so that you're still able to blend it, but you're not just smearing it all over your face. Beautiful. Okay, so that is Vision. By the way, I'm using my Kogan Do Cleansing Spa Water to remove the blushes, and this still to this day remains my favorite makeup remover. I've been talking about this, I think, ever since I started YouTube. I've been talking about this because I started using this before I started my YouTube channel. Anyway, just thought I'd mention it. I don't think you can hear it, but if you hear any, like, not necessarily like nail gunning, essentially is what's going on. California Closets is here, and they're actually building out my second guest room. So I am vlogging that. So definitely keep an eye out for that vlog if you're interested, but I'm so excited. I cannot wait until they're done. But they're all the way like upstairs on the other side, and I can kind of hear it, but anyway, in case you do hear it, that's what that noise is. Okay, next we have the shade Moment, which is a warm peach beige. We're getting really warm with this shade here. I'm gonna shake it. Moment. Very peach. Very peach. Ooh, this is so great. If you want to do like a bronzy look, like a sunset look. Ooh, this is pretty. That is Moment on top of powder. I need to squeeze out enough here. Let's do one more drop. Oh, I was going to use my fingers. I almost forgot. Yeah, I think actually it's doing that thing I was talking about. It's like my fingers are lifting the product up a little bit. I mean, I can sit here and tap, continue tapping. I can do that because the product is setting down as I'm doing this. But I don't know, that just kind of frustrates me, so I think I'm gonna stick with the brush. Do you see how it's like kind of lifting with the finger? With the brush, it was not doing that. I mean, that's a great thing about fingertips. They're like little teeny tiny suction cups, which is why I think they're so great for like really glittery shadows and stuff. You can really press it down and really pick up the product really nicely with your fingers, but I think that's to their detriment when you're dealing with liquid products sometimes. sometimes. Okay, so this is Moment. Really, really warm. I think on my cheeks it really comes off quite orangey. Beautiful though. Like I said, when I look at this, I just see like a really bronzy look, like a warm bronzy look. Love it. Love it. It has really been the season for cream and liquid blushes. Wouldn't you say? I feel like I've gotten so many over the past few months, and I feel like I felt this way last summer. I feel like there were a lot of liquid and cream products, maybe not specifically blushes, but anyway, this has really been the season for cream and liquid blushes, which I love. And I have not been this excited for a liquid blush in a really long time. And I will say, now that I'm using these, I think these blow the Armani Luminous Silk ones. I've been playing around with these. These are okay. You know, I would give these a B, but so far the Hourglass, I would give an A. And as far as cream blushes are concerned, I've been loving the Rhode. These like pocket polys, what are they called? Pocket cheek blushes. I've been wearing Freckle, the shade Freckle, quite a bit. And it's so nice, but I just want to play around with those a little bit more. They'll probably end up, admittedly, they'll probably end up in my July favorites. Okay, powder down. This is the next shade called Future, and this is described as a warm coral. Ooh, look at that. Pretty. Here it is blended out. Gorgeous. I feel like with each shade, I'm applying more and more to my cheek. I just really want to give you guys like a good sense of the shade. I don't think that I'd apply blush. I mean, maybe. I do love blush. Anyway, here is Moment, right? Yeah. No, Future. Sorry. This is Future on top of powder. And here it is by itself. And I'm just going to add a little powder on top. So on top of powder, under powder. Such a beautiful shade. It's gorgeous. All right, so that is Future. It's hot in here. All right, ready for the next shade, which is Imagine. And this is a rich terracotta. Look at that. Oh, I'm really excited for this. I think I have to be careful though, because this looks pretty deep for my skin tone, but I really, really love this shade. Ooh, it's so pretty. Okay, here it is, unblended. Here it is blended out. I'm gonna start lightly. You can always add. Very hard to take away. Ooh, that is nice. I am being careful with the application though. I'm not applying it quite as heavily as the other shades, and I definitely have enough. That is pretty. You guys, I love a terracotta blush. I don't know. So good. Yeah, this is me just like sitting out in the sun for probably too long, but sitting out in the sun, this is like the color that my face starts to get. Oh, I love this. So that is Imagine. Oh, let me put some powder on top of this side. Let's see what that looks like. Okay, so powder on top, powder on the bottom. Gorgeous. Gorgeous. That is Imagine. Why do I get the feeling I'm gonna look back on this footage while I'm editing and like see clearly where I added the foundation over the old foundation? Okay, I think that's blended in. All right, we're ready for our last shade, which is Craft. And this is described as a deep berry. Ooh, here it is, Craft. And I'm gonna have to be really careful with this shade. Oh, that's gorgeous. Ooh, with like a matching lip. So perfect for the fall. Like an evening look, out to dinner look. Looks like crushed red wine grapes, right? So gorgeous. Oops. way too much on my brush. I applied way more on this side. Oopsie. Well, at least this is the side I'm going to be powdering over, which always kind of dampens the color. So, well, thank God. Yeah, that's, this obviously was not formulated for my skin tone. I think applied very, very carefully and very lightly, it's fine. But applying it like the other shades, this is definitely for deeper skin tones. God, that is such a beautiful berry shade though. Sometimes I find it's like a little bit too purpley where it's, I don't mind a cool toned blush, but almost to the point where it looks, I don't know, just kind of sad. This does not. This is like a really, like a bright, it's like a bright berry. Okay, let me see if I can save this side with a little bit of powder here. Just dampen this up a little. It's okay. This side looks much nicer. Yeah, this side looks much nicer. All right, so this is Craft. So beautiful. So beautiful. All right, guys, well, that is it for this really quick impromptu swatching of all of the new Hourglass Unreal Liquid Blushes. First impressions, I really like them. I like the way that they apply, like I was talking about. I feel like the formula it just blends out really beautifully. It's very, very even. It sets down at the right pace. It's not too quick, it's not too slow where you feel like you're smearing it all over your face. I love the shades. I think we've got such a great range. The last two shades, I would say if you use me as like a shade reference, if you have a similar skin tone to mine, they're beautiful, but you'd have to be really, really careful. So if you do want like a berry tone, because none of the lighter shades are a berry tone, if you want a berry tone, just be very careful with that last Craft shade. I definitely overdid it. The packaging is really beautiful. I am used to this dispensing system because I do have the Surratt Dewdrop foundation, and it's basically the same idea. You have to turn it upside down, and then you have to press this soft button just once for one drop. Now this, and like the Surratt Dewdrop foundation when it was new, there's like air in there or whatever, and so after shaking it, some kind of came up by itself. And so I can see these kind of getting a little bit messy, as you can see. However, this cap, when you twist it, there's actually a little additional click to it. So I think that's gonna keep it from actually like just like dripping out and getting messy everywhere. I think the mess is gonna remain like right at that tip. At least that's my hope. And I do like applying it with a brush versus fingers, and I really liked both ways. It applied really nicely on top of and underneath powder. I think those are my first impressions, thoughts. As I continue to use them, I'm sure I'm going to develop more thoughts, more feelings. I'm sure I'll talk about it in, a future video or in one of my favorites videos, if it does make it to a favorites video. But anyway, that is it. Let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Subscribe down below if you are new to the channel, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.